Good afternoon. My name is Deandre Barnes, and I will be presenting my paper, The Search for Identity, a critical analysis of Leopold Sedar Senghor's Prayer to Mask. The history of African Americans has indeed been arduous. When the legacy of white institutionalized racism is discussed, it is only limited to slavery and prejudicial treatments such as Jim Crow laws and openly being called terms such as nigger or porch monkey. If a depiction of the oppression black people have experienced could be reduced to a fourth of its size, then this would be an accurate recollection of the unjust treatment of African Americans in the United States. Yet, this is only a small portion of how black people have and can still be regarded as second class citizens within their own country. Unfortunately, African Americans experience what can be described as an unfair distribution of resources, such as food deserts, lack of nearby hospitals or trauma centers, inadequate education systems, and a lack of funding for constructive programs targeted towards black youth. A huge part of these issues stem from lack of representation for black people within the legislature of their communities. This is due to the absence of identity for African Americans as a whole and their voting power. Senghor's Prayer to Mask is not only an Afrocentric poem meant to spread negritude across the globe, but it is also a poem meant to uplift black people both collectively and individually. It also serves to prove that black people can cause the change that has the possibility to transcend the success and legacy of their oppressors through appreciating their own ancestry, igniting the passion to surmount these social injustices, and realizing the value of a black person on an individual level and as a whole. Understanding these processes can awaken the conscience of African Americans and aid in the development of change that they are trying to see. Without a proper understanding of one's roots and cultural heritage, one is not able to manifest the existence of one's own individuality. If a person is not able to see the beauty within one's own ancestry and people, there is no way that person can become a conscious being who can provide advancements in their own communities. Due to the ignorant misconceptions about Africa from the media coverage reported in America, Africa is depicted as a place that does not hold any cultural significance. This leaves many black people feeling as though they do not have any real heritage and becoming unconscious citizens within an oppressive system. Senghor disproves all notions of this when he states, "Any you too, my lion-headed ancestor, you guard this place that is close to any feminine laughter, to any mortal smile." This metaphor describes Africa's beauty as innocent as a woman's laugh or a smile. He also states, "Mask of maskless faces free from dimples and wrinkles." This describes both the beauty of Africa and its natives or descendants as an allure that has no blemishes. Senghor even goes as far as listing some of the physical qualities of black people when he states, "They call us cotton heads and coffee men and oily men." This presents the many features that are used as insults towards black people because of the European standards of beauty. Terms that should be considered insults of the oppressors' efforts to degrade the self-image of blacks should actually be seen as compliments. There is beauty within the cotton-like texture of the hair and the dark complexions of black smooth skin. Understanding these ideas not only uplifts the self-value of a black person as an individual, but also gives black people a positive identity, which awakens their consciousness as a whole and prevents them from being manipulated by a system that is only trying to oppress them. This makes them a serious force that can bring change in their own communities, such as reduced violence and more evenly allocated resources. Though, to bring change to a community, there must be a passion and belief that change is possible. Due to the adversities black people have faced in the past, there are many who believe the chance of seeing more positive aspects in their communities is slim. Senghor affirms that this is simply not true when he states, "Now while the Africa despotism is dying, it is the agony of a pitiful princess, which sheds light on the many stripes African descendants have had to endure. Yet, as severe as these stripes have been, there is still hope." Senghor also states, "Let us report present at the rebirth of the world, being the leaven that the white flower needs." Not only is Senghor insinuating that there will indeed be a revolution for black people worldwide, but he is also claiming that black people will be the catalyst for this change. Senghor continues to ignite the passion in his readers when he states, "For who else would teach rhythm to the world that has died of machines and cannons?" which refers to the soul African descendants have retained after the world has been dominated by industrialization. He also refers to the vigorous passion that is contained in black people when he states, "For who else should ejaculate the cry of joy that arouses the dead and awakens a new dawn?" Lastly, Senghor shifts attention to the special connection black people have with the earth that is strengthened through dance when he states, "But we are the men of dance whose feet only gain power when they beat the hard soil." Comprehending the extent of these claims can eradicate the lethargy found within African Americans that is detrimental to the process of change. If a group of people are not convinced that they have the power to induce change, they will not be able to achieve it. This can inspire many black people to be avid about improving their own communities through activities such as being informed about the legislative system of their communities, voting for appropriate representatives, and attending city council meetings, which are the first steps to producing any real change in the community. Unity is what makes African Americans a threat to the oppressive system they reside in. Unfortunately, due to the psychological ploys implemented on black people since slavery, such as colorism, classism, and categorization of acceptable and non acceptable black features, they remain divided and unaware of the dependency the system has on them. In fact, Senghor compares this dependency to the relationship between a developing fetus and its mother when he states, like that of Ura to whom she is connected through the navel. Not only is Senghor claiming that oppressive lands such as Europe and America have benefited from their parasitic relationship with Africa, he is affirming that the very success seen within these nations have been undoubtedly born from Africa. Senghor also alludes to the fact that black people have been the very catalyst to this success when he states, being the leaven that the white flower needs. Understanding these points are not only meant to assure that black people hold value as individuals, but more importantly, as an entity. As a unit, there is much that African Americans can affect regarding the country they reside in. For instance, their representation in the economy, the media or entertainment industries, and voting polls are all things that can significantly affect the United States as a whole. If more black people were to converge as a unit, there would be many things they can influence in this country, such as social justice, prison reform for nonviolent offenses, and recognition as valuable citizens within their country. In the history of America, it can be seen that African Americans have been treated more than unfairly, being lost in the search for their identities due to not having any cultural roots. Black people have allowed themselves to be subjugated in an oppressive system that benefits off of them. In Prayer to Mass, Senghor attempts to break the cycle of this multicentennial oppression through promoting the appreciation of ancestry, the potent passion found within black people, and the realization of the power black people hold as both individuals and as an entity. After thoroughly comprehending Senghor's intentions, it is possible to aid many societal ills. It will be possible for black people to gain their own identities and realize the value they hold in their communities along with the entire nation. Along with developing a deeper consciousness within the black population to understand the causes of the conditions they live in, it will ignite their passion for change, causing them to become more active in gaining better representation for their communities. With these manifestations of black issues being realized, it is possible to redistribute necessary resources for their respective communities and help improve the state of many African Americans living now. Some of these advancements include the eradication of food deserts, inadequate education systems, distant medical centers, and non proactive programs that could be better suited for nurturing the youth. Thank you.